Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna. I am Rajarsi Dasa. Welcome to Hare Krishna today. On today's program, we're going to continue our lessons from the Bhagavad Gita. In our previous programs, we were discussing about knowledge in general, about God, the creation, our relationship with this existence, that is meant to inspire us, to modify our thoughts, words, and actions. So ultimately, all the knowledge is meant to motivate us to act in such a way that we'll be elevated. Today, we'd like to continue discussing such knowledge, and that is information about God Himself. So today's topic, we would like to speak about God walks His talk. Yes. When we say God walk His talk, He doesn't just say things in the Bhagavad Gita, some theoretical things, but He demonstrates His claims in the Bhagavad Gita. So very often, people, they have a lack of information about God. So Bhagavad Gita is actually giving information. Bhagavad Gita literally means the song of God. In Bhagavad Gita, God is declaring, He's giving information about Himself. So let us examine some of the information that Lord Krishna is giving in the Bhagavad Gita about Himself. First, let us look at the information about the Gita himself, the information given in Bhagavad Gita. Let us look at how this knowledge was obtained and how we can obtain this knowledge. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna begins the 4th chapter by saying, in the beginning, I give this knowledge to the sun god Vivashvan, Imam Vivashvate Yogam. Yes, I give it, this science. I imparted this science to the sun god Vivashvan. He passed it on to Manu, the father of the human race. Then it came to Ikshvaku, a great king, in disciplic succession. So the knowledge was passed down in this way. But then Krishna says, in course of time, this succession was broken. He said this knowledge came through a disciplic succession, but in course of time, this succession was broken, and this knowledge appeared to be lost. So then he told Arjuna, now I am giving you this knowledge. But he states Arjuna's qualification for receiving this knowledge. He says to Arjuna, in the 4th chapter, 3rd verse, Sa evayam mayate dia yoga prokta puratana bhakto sime sakhacheti rahasyam hyetad uttamam. He said this ancient science of the soul and the soul's relationship with the Supreme, it is a science. He said this ancient science of the soul and the soul's relationship with the Supreme is told today by me to you. Why? He said, Bhakto sime sakhacheti, because you are my devotee and my friend. Therefore, rahasyam, he ated uttamam. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. There are many speculators who say that nobody knows God and no one can know God. But why should this be? Does God not have the power and the ability to reveal himself to us? So Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna that you can know me because you are my devotee and my friend. It's not an isolated case. He repeats in the Bhagavad Gita again and again. Bhaktya tu ananyaya sakhya aham evam vidu Arjuna. Arjun, you can know me as I am by unalloyed devotion. So there's a qualification for knowing God. But Arjun said, wait a minute, Krishna, before you go any further, I have a question. Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivashvataha kathametad vijaniyam tvam adau proktavaniti. Arjun said, how am I to understand that in the beginning you gave this knowledge to the sun god Vivashvan? As far as I know, you are my contemporary, you were born just recently. How am I to understand that you say Adau in the beginning, the sun god is millions of years old? How am I to understand that in the beginning you gave knowledge to him? And Lord Krishna said, good question, Arjuna. You're thoughtful. Yes, I'll explain to you. He said, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjan. He said, Arjun, many births, both you and I have passed. We have appeared many times in this world. He said, but there's a difference between myself and yourself. He said, I can remember all of this, but you cannot. Yes, God is the complete whole, and all souls, Arjuna is representing the souls of this world. We are minute parts. We may be one with God in quality, but we are minute in quantity. Just as a drop of water from the ocean may have the chemical properties as the ocean, but it has its limitation. So too, the eternal souls, God, Nityo Nityanam. God is Nityam. He is eternal. And all the souls in this world, Nityanam. We are eternal also. Chetana Chetananam. God is conscious and all souls are conscious. But Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. But him, that one, is fulfilling the desires and is maintaining the Bahu, the many living beings. That's the difference between God and us. Yes, he is the one that is maintaining all others. So Krishna goes on to reveal information about himself. He says, Ajo Pisan. Aja means unborn. Ja means Janma, to take birth. He says, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I appear in this world. Aja. Although I am unborn and my spiritual body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in this world millennium after millennium. People may be shocked. You mean God could come to this world? Why not? For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son. If the Son could come, who can stop the Father from coming? So the Lord is saying, I come, I appear in my original transcendental form. What I do when I come? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Whenever there's a decline in religiosity, a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I would descend myself. Yes. What would I do? Paritranaya sadhunam, I'll deliver the devotees, and vinashaya cha duskritam, I would destroy the demoniac elements, and dharma sangstapanartaya, I'll re-establish the principles of religion. So how would we benefit from this? He says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. If you know my janma, my birth in this world, and my karma, my activities that are divyam, divine, then tyaktva deham, when you give up this body, then you will not have to take birth again in this world. Yes, he's telling Arjuna, if you know me in tatvataha, in truth, then upon giving up this body, you will not have to take birth in this world again, but you will attain my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This is the benefit we would derive from actually knowing God. Yes. So, then, in the 7th chapter, Krishna reveals more information about himself. He tells Arjuna, Mai asakta manaparta yogam yunjan madashrayaha. He said, Arjuna, you just hear from me how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you could know me in full, free from doubt. Yes, it is possible. He said, Arjuna, Jnanam teham savigyanam idam vakshyami asheshata. I am telling you everything about this phenomenal world and everything about the source of it. And knowing this, there shall be nothing further to be known. This is the level of information the Lord Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, I am giving you knowledge that when you know this, there will be nothing further to be known. He encompasses everything in existence, but he's saying, Tatrinu, you should hear from me. People who are envious of God, they say no one knows God. They fail to realize that God has the power to reveal himself. Yes. So Krishna then declares, Bhumir apo nalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha, that earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these elements that we perceive, he says all of these, including the subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego, he says all these together is my apara prakriti. It is my inferior nature. Yes, apara means inferior. Then he says that aparayam itashtu anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yedam dharyate jagat. He says, besides this inferior energy of mine, there is a para prakriti. So two types of energies we are speaking about. Apara means inferior. This is unconscious matter, earth, water, fire, these elements. But then he's saying, besides this inferior energy, there is a para prakriti, a superior energy of mind. Jiva bhuta, the spirit soul, the conscious beings, yayedam dharyate jagat, who are trying to exploit this universe. We don't like to hear that, right? That I am an exploiter. Well, that's what the souls are busy going about in this world. Krishna says the souls in this world, they think, Ishwaraham, aham bhogi. I am the controller and I am the enjoyer. So the souls are going about busy trying to control and enjoy the world. So Krishna says that you have to, if you want to know everything in existence, you have to understand Gyan. Knowledge means what is matter and what is spirit. What is soul, what is body, what is the nature of the elements in this world. So we should know what is soul and what is body. He said, but Vigyan means to know the origin of both. Who is the origin of all the elements, this whole world, and who is the source of all the souls? So Krishna says, Etad yonini bhutani sarvani tyupadharaya ham kritsnasya jagataha prabhava pralayastata. He said, everything that you see in this world is just a combination of these two natures. The para prakriti, the superior energy, and the apara prakriti, the inferior matter. In other words, eternal spirit souls have entered here in this world and are taking on bodies made up of the matter, the material energy. Now with these bodies, we are busy doing what? He says the souls in this world, Purusha, Prakriti Stohi, the souls situated in this Prakriti, in this material nature, they think I am the Purusha, I am the enjoyer. So as they go about trying to play the master and the controller and the enjoyer of this world, Krishna says, as they go about trying to exploit this nature, Sad asad yoni janmashu. We get good and bad bodies. Why? Because guna sangha. Guna sangha means we associate. How we associate? With the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. When people try to exploit this world, some people want to be happy in the mode of ignorance. They take intoxicants, they sleep a lot of hallucination and dreaming. A man in a mode of passion, he is very active. He wants to get ahead and he accumulating and acquiring. Man in a mode of goodness, he is collective, he is thoughtful, he is philosophical, he has introspection. So according to how the souls contact this world, we get good and bad bodies and we enjoy and suffer differently in this world. So after Krishna declares that everything you see in this world is a combination of these two natures, then he says, Mataha parataram na anyat kinchirasti dhananjaya. He said, but Arjun, you should know that there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Yes, he is like the thread that holds everything together. Sutra. Sutre mani ganaiva. Sutra means thread and mani means pearls, jewel. So just as there, you may just be seeing the jewels, but you're not seeing that there is a thread that is holding everything in formation. So Krishna is the thread that holds everything together. So in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of the Absolute, Krishna is declaring, he is giving information about himself. But then, in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, there is what is called the Chatur Shloki. Chatur Shloki means the entire message of the Bhagavad Gita is contained in a nutshell. Chatur means 4, in 4 nutshell verses. So in these verses, Krishna declares, 10:8 he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvam pravartati iti matva bhajante mang buddha bhava samanvitaha. He says, I am the source of everything in this world. Everything emanates from me. And he says, everything material and everything spiritual, they all emanate from me. But he says, Buddha bhava samanvita, the wise who knows this properly engages in my devotional service and worship me with all their heart. Yes, Krishna is saying, anyone who know him to be the source of everything in this world, all the souls and all the material elements and everything, he says these persons are wise. And anyone who doesn't know it, they are not wise, they are otherwise. They are not described as Buddha, as wise. Krishna described them in 4 categories. Mudha, foolish. Naradhama, lowest among mankind. Maya pahrita gyan, all their so-called cultivation of knowledge, they're deluded by Maya. And Asur Bhav, they may just have a demoniac nature. They don't want to hear God's proclamation about himself. So Krishna says that those who actually wise, he says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after Bahu Janam, when the soul does all kind of piety and religiosity, when he becomes Jnanavan, full of knowledge, then Mam Prapadyanti, then he would surrender unto me. Because he knows Vasudeva Sarvamiti, he knows me Vasudeva to be everything. Samahatma Sudurlabha, such great souls are very rare. Yes. So after Krishna declares everything comes from him, then he says what the devotees does. He says, Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantas Shamang Nityam Tushyanti Charamanticha. He says that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell always in my heart. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Yes, this is what the pure devotees does. He says their thoughts dwell always in me. In this world, we're always contemplating something or the other. Yes, always trying to be happy, thinking about this, thinking about that, hoping that somebody and something will make me completely happy and completely satisfied. But Krishna says you're hoping against hope. There is no hope. Away from him, all there is disease, old age, and death, and repeated birth, disease, old age, and death. Hopeless case. But he's saying the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. Is it a dry and boring thing? He says, no, they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Yes. The topics of the Supreme Lord are described as Amrit, as nectar. Tavakatha amritam tapta jivanam. Yes, it is the life and soul. That is real life. That is real amrit or real nectar. In this world, we know people are eager to hear topics of this world. It's called Gramya Katha, the trash, the village talk. Who did this? Who did that? Who killed who? Who kidnapped who? Yes. You could read and hear any amount of garbage and trash, but it will not give pleasure to the soul. But Krishna is saying that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell always in me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. This is called Hari Katha. Katha Amritam. So Bhagavad says, Pivantiye Bhagavata Atmanaksatam Katha Amritam Shravana Puteshu Samritam. That those who drink through oral reception, yes. Nigamakalpataro Galitam Phalam Shukamukaram Rita Drava Samyutam. O expert and thoughtful men, they would drink through oral reception, relish the glories of the Lord. Hari Katha. It is the ripened fruit of all scriptures, the tree of the Vedic literatures. Galitam Phalam. It is the ripened fruit. You may have a mango tree. You may have a lot of valuable things. You may use mango root for some medicine. You may use mango bark for something. You may use mango branch for doing something. Yeah, you may use mango leaves. But the ripened fruit of the mango tree, that's the real thing. So the descriptions of God, the all-attractive person, we know how much in this world people are eager to see a beautiful person, how much money they pay to see a Miss Universe who become wrinkled up like a salt prune in a few years' time. Isn't that so? How much money people are eager to see some beauty, or you're eager to see some powerful, some strong man, right? One person used to beat up everybody and say, I'm the greatest, and someone beat him up and say, I'm the latest. What does that mean? People are attracted to some power. But Krishna says, Balam balavatang chaham, I am the strength of the strong man. Yes. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that if you know me, if you are a wise person who know me, and your thoughts are devoted to my service, your life is devoted to serving me, he says, you'll derive great satisfaction and bliss. But is that all? The next verse, chapter 10, verse 10, he says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayadite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, he says, I give them the understanding whereby they can come to me. How you would do that? Those who are constantly devoted to serving him, how would he do it? He says, Tesham evanukam partam aham jnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavastu jnana deepena bhashvata. He said, Atma bhavastu. I am seated, I am situated right within their heart. And to show them special mercy, I, dwelling within their hearts, I'll destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge all the darkness born of ignorance. Yes, he's right within the heart, and he gives that complete knowledge. So in our next program, we're going to continue with this topic. I'm Rajarsi Dasa saying Hare Krishna, and do join us again next week for a continuing presentation.
Though I see you here before me, I wish to know how you pervade this entire cosmic manifestation. If you think that I am able to behold this truth, kindly reveal it to me.
My dear Arjun, you cannot see this universal self with your present eyes. Therefore, I now give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulences, which no one has ever seen or heard before. You will see that everything is contained within me.
I see within you all living beings. I see Brahma sitting on the divine lotus. I see Shiva, many sages and celestial serpents. I see many forms, bellies, mouths, eyes expanded without limit. Although I am glad that you have shown me this form, yet fear disturbs me. Please bestow your grace on me. Reveal again your original form, O abode of the universe.
Let this horrible feature be finished. With a peaceful mind, you can now see my original form, which is so dear to you. O Arjun, only by undivided devotion can I be known as I am. Thus you can see me directly, sitting before you. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of understanding me.